Throw me a frickin' bone here.
You know, I think it's really rude when you ask people to subscribe and like before you even watch the video. That's just crazy. Hey folks, it's Chef Kevin. Kind of a windy day down here in Janesville, Virginia. Tonight I'm going to be making something you've probably never heard of. I'm going to be making steak with pancakes with chocolate sauce. Now that sounds unusual, but so does chicken and waffles. Now here we have a pic of chicken and waffles. Now if you're any type of chef or a foodie, you should have heard about chicken and waffles. You should know about this stuff. This dish was created early 1920s in Harlem as a way for people to satisfy their drunken appetites after a long night of partying. And, you know, who would have thought chicken and waffles? But it's still going on strong. Now, I'm not quite sure about the cronut. Do you remember the cronut? Now, this was invented in 2013 by Dominic's Bakery in the Soho section of New York City. And people were lining up for blocks to purchase one of these. Well, here's a picture of people standing in line outside of Dominic's Bakery. Now, I for one don't want to stand in any line, especially one where I have to stand in for such a long time just to buy a piece of unhealthy food. I'm not going to do that, I'm sorry. And I wonder how many of these people really have jobs. I don't know. So this may be the next big thing. Who knows? Now here are my two beef tenderloin steaks. This is Fillet Mignon. And this is prime steak, the most expensive. And if you look closely, you'll see why. There's a lot of fat within the muscle, more so on a regular choice. Choice won't have that much marbling, and that's what you're paying for. That's what makes it taste good. Now, filet mignon is one of the most, if not the most, common steak at a high-end steakhouse. And they're also the most expensive. The problem is, a filet mignon doesn't have much taste to it because this comes from the muscle on the cow that's towards the back and towards the top. So it doesn't get used a lot. That's why it's so tender. That's why it's tenderloin. So the key when you're making any steak tenderloin or a pork tenderloin for that matter is you have to add fat, like wrap it in bacon, or you can make an extra sauce, a sauce that'd be like over the top, a lot of flavor. So that's what I'm going for in this reduced wine chocolate sauce. This is going to be the next big hit. Okay, so when you have a nice piece of meat, beef, fish, whatever, you don't need a lot of spices. You want the flavor of the meat to come through. So what I'm doing right now is I'm adding some sea salt, a liberal amount of sea salt, all four sides, everywhere. And this is going to be placed back in the fridge for 3 to 4 hours. This is dry brining, and then I'll take it out an hour prior to cooking so that they're room temperature. That way they cook nice and even. The next thing to do is to make the pancakes, or the crepes, however you want to call it. Okay, so this recipe uses mini pancakes or silver dollar pancakes. Of course, you could use the large regular pancakes, but I'm trying to give it a little bit more of an elegant look. So I'm going to go with the silver dollar pancakes. And I'm also going to be using some semi-sweet mini morsels. Now, of course, you could use the regular ones, but I think appearance-wise, the mini ones will be much more suited. Okay, this is Food Lion waffle pancake mix. I mean, it's your regular box mix. When I make pancakes for a party, I don't use a boxed mix. I make them by hand. They come out so much better. But for this video, this will be fine. So basically, you need a cup of this mix and 3 cups of milk, an egg, and a tablespoon of olive oil. And then I'll beat it up and I'll add the mini chocolate chips in there. I think I can pull that off. I think I'm a good enough chef. What do you think?
You're a fucking fake.
Well, don't sugarcoat it, chef.
You're pulling my plonker now, aren't you?
No, I'm not pulling your plonker. Not quite sure what a plonker is, but I have a good idea. No, I'm not pulling it.
All your food was crap.
Look, I don't know what your problem is, Chef Ramsay, but I'd appreciate if you get off my channel. You get enough subscribers. Yeah, folks, I'm really sorry about that. I mean, first we had Mr. Evil.
Dr. Evil. I didn't spend 6 years in evil medical school to be called Mr. Thank you very much.
And then we had Chef Ramsay burst in like that. There's no call for that. Alright folks, moving right along. Here is my silver dollar pancake pan. I'm going to just drizzle a little water over that. You can see the drops are evaporating quickly, so it's time to get the show on the road here. I have some clarified butter. And that's just butter that has the water removed from it. It has a higher cooking temperature. It's my batter. Now you don't need this particular pan, but chances are the pancakes will come out much more uniform. And in food, looks are everything. If it doesn't look good, it's not going to taste good. I got a whole bunch of chocolate chips in these, I'll tell you that right now. Okay, I got my mini spatula ready to go. Waiting for the bubbles to come to the surface. And that means that it's ready to flip. Not a lot of times on the first shot you don't get it. You're not going to make it work because the pancakes have to season up the pan a bit. So on your first shot, if you're not ready, don't freak out. I'm going to lower the heat just a bit. Okay, I had to turn the ventilator on. You can see the bubbles have come to the top. Nice and brown. The second time won't take quite as long. Actually, I don't think I did put too many chocolate chips in there. Some nice color to it. It's hot. Making a second batch. I think the first batch may have been a little bit overcooked. Maybe a tiny bit overcooked, but oh, look at that, boy. So good. Folks, I'm going to pull these off and just keep them warm. These are ready. Okay, folks, red wine chocolate sauce. Little olive oil in there. I have a shallot, finely chopped. Have some thyme. That's all going to get pulled out. 1 clove of garlic. There's another clove, is skin on. That adds flavor. This is going to get strained out. That's 3/4 cup of high quality vinegar, balsamic vinegar. And you have to start with a real good quality vinegar, because if you don't, you're going to regret it. Because as you reduce the sauce, it's going to intensify. So if it's bad to begin with, it's going to be worse at the end. So I'm going to bring this to a boil and reduce it to just about a few ounces at best. This takes a little time. So the sauce has been cooking for a good 10-15 minutes. So what I'm going to do now is just strain it, because all those vegetables have pretty much given up their flavors. There's my straining apparatus here. Okay, this needs to get reduced. Now, I'm not going to press the food through the strainer, because then it gets lumpy, so I'm not going to do that at all. This needs to get reduced a bit though. This is a very intense sauce. You don't need a lot. Okay, so the balsamic vinegar reduction is just about where I want it to be. I'm going to add some lint, 85% cacao, and it's got the lint master chef here. Yeah, whatever it is. Okay, I have 2 squares here. Just going to melt that in. That was 2 sticks of butter, and now I'm going to add about half a tablespoon of cold butter, and this will emulsify into the sauce. Add a nice sheen. And we're going to have a nice meal here tonight, folks. Thanks for watching. And if you think I'm a good chef, then do what you have to do. So here's one of the two steaks right off the barbecue. It has rested for 10 minutes or so. That's what you're supposed to do, so that the fluids don't run out on you. So let's cut this open and take a look. A look-see here. That's a perfect medium rare. Cutting this at a slight angle just to make it a little more interesting looking. Although that's not going to improve the taste any. No. There you have it, folks. So now let's plate it. Okay, let's plate this bad boy. My pancakes, $silver pancakes or crepes. A perfectly cooked filet mignon. Some roasted vegetables. Very nice. Little cilantro. And now the sauce. Red wine chocolate sauce. Eat your heart out, Chef Ramsay. That was so awesome. Okay, folks. I appreciate it if you watched the video in the entirety. And if you think I'm a good chef, then you know what to do. Okay, Dr. Evil, do your thing.
Throw me a frickin' bone here.